Hello, everyone, and welcome to another exciting episode of the Dual Learning Podcast. I'm Chris, and as always, I'm here with the brilliant Claudia. How's everything going today, Claudia?
Hey, everything's going awesome. Thank you for asking. I'm so pumped for today's episode because we're going to discuss a book that has changed so many lives, Atomic Habits by James Clear. This book isn't just about building better habits, it's about transforming your life by making small, incremental changes over time. Plus, you'll be learning new English words and phrases along the way.
Exactly. So if you're looking to improve your habits or your English, this episode is the perfect opportunity for both. Atomic Habits teaches us that small actions can lead to extraordinary results. And we'll show you how these ideas can be applied to your life and to your English learning journey.
Yes, that's right. Today, we'll dive into the key concepts of the book, break them down step by step, and give you practical tips on how to start using them in your everyday life. So, whether you're looking to improve your fitness, learning habits, or even your English skills, this episode will have something valuable for you.
Exactly. So sit back, relax, and let's get started with this exciting journey into the world of atomic habits. It's time to make small changes that lead to big transformations. Before we dive deep into the book, let's quickly go over some important vocabulary words that will help you understand the core ideas of atomic habits. These words are not only key to the book, but will also help you improve your English. Ready, Claudia?
Absolutely. Let's start with the word habit, which is spelled as H-A-B-I-T. A habit is something we do regularly, usually without thinking too much about it. For example, brushing your teeth every morning is a habit. It's a regular action that we repeat often.
Great! Now, the word atomic, which is spelled as A-T-O-M-I-C. Atomic might sound complicated, but it actually means something very small. When we talk about atomic habits, we're referring to tiny actions that seem insignificant on their own. But when repeated consistently, they can lead to big results. Think of it like small drops of water that slowly fill up a glass.
Exactly. The idea is that small habits can compound over time and create large changes. This leads us to the next important word, compound, which is spelled as C-O-M-P-O-U-N-D. Compound means things that build up over time. When small habits compound, they grow and have a bigger effect than we realize. It's like saving small amounts of money every day. Over time, you end up with a lot more.
That's right. And next, we have consistency, which is spelled as C-O-N-S-I-S-T-E-N-C-Y. This is one of the most important words in the book. Consistency means doing something regularly. It's not about being perfect. It's about showing up and doing something every day, even if it's just a little bit.
And finally, we have cue, which is spelled as C-U-E. A cue is something that triggers a habit. It's the signal that tells your brain, it's time to do this. For example, the sound of an alarm clock is a cue to wake up. In habit building, we use cues to trigger positive habits.
Awesome. These words will help you understand the framework behind atomic habits. Now, let's dive into the first big idea from the book: how small habits can lead to incredible changes over time.
So, let's talk about the central idea of atomic habits. James Clear argues that big changes don't happen overnight. They happen because of small habits that you repeat over time. He introduces the concept of the 1% rule. The idea is simple. If you improve by just 1% every day, you will get 37 times better by the end of the year.
Yes, it sounds crazy, right? But it's true. Think about it. If you made just a small improvement every day, over time, those small changes build up to something huge. For example, let's say you decide to read just 10 pages of a book every day. After 1 year, you'll have read about 3,650 pages. That's about 10 or more books.
Exactly. And this doesn't just apply to reading. You can apply the 1% rule to anything, like learning English. Instead of trying to cram a lot of information into one day, you can learn just 5 new words a day. In a month, you'll have learned 150 words. In a year, that's 1,800 new words.
That's a great point. The key idea is that small improvements, when repeated consistently, can lead to massive results. You don't need to make huge changes all at once. It's the small, continuous actions that will give you the most results.
And here's something important. It's not just about the results, it's also about building the right mindset. When you focus on small improvements, you're creating a habit of growth. It helps you build momentum, and that's how you keep going even when things get tough.
Exactly. One of the reasons small habits work so well is because they don't overwhelm you. If you try to make big changes all at once, it can be hard to stick with it. But with small habits, it's easier to start and to keep going. And over time, those small actions start adding up, creating lasting change.
Now that we understand how small habits can lead to big results, let's dive into how we can build better habits. James Clear outlines a 4-step process for building habits: cue, craving, response, and reward. This is called the habit loop. Let's break it down.
Step 1 is the cue. This is the trigger that starts your habit. For example, if you're trying to build a habit of exercising in the morning, the cue might be your alarm clock going off or seeing your workout clothes laid out.
Step 2 is craving. This is the desire or feeling you get when you think about the benefit of completing the habit. For example, when you think about exercising, you might crave the feeling of being energized or the sense of accomplishment after your workout.
Step 3 is response. This is the actual action you take to satisfy your craving. In this case, your response is getting out of bed and doing your workout.
Finally, step 4 is the reward. This is the positive feeling you get after completing the habit. In the case of exercise, the reward might be feeling more energetic and having a sense of pride for sticking to your workout.
And here's the cool thing. The more you repeat this cycle, the stronger the habit becomes. Your brain starts to link the cue with the craving, response, and reward, and the habit starts to feel automatic.
Exactly. The key is consistency. Every time you go through this loop, you're reinforcing the habit. Over time, it becomes easier and easier to stick to your new behavior.
Now, let's talk about breaking bad habits. It's not always easy, but the good news is that James Clear has some great strategies for doing it. One of the key ideas is to make bad habits invisible, unattractive, and difficult.
Right. The first step is to make the habit invisible. For example, if you want to stop eating junk food, don't keep it in the house. If the food isn't there, you're less likely to eat it.
Next, make the bad habit unattractive. If you want to stop spending too much time on your phone, think about the negative effects it's having on your life, like wasted time or feeling disconnected from people.
Finally, make the bad habit difficult. For example, if you want to stop procrastinating, you can remove distractions. Put your phone in another room while you work, or use apps that block websites you know are distracting.
Exactly. By making bad habits harder to do, you reduce the chances of falling back into them. It's about changing your environment and making it harder to engage in the negative behavior.
Now, let's explore 2 more powerful concepts from Atomic Habits: habit stacking and environment design.
Let's start with habit stacking. Habit stacking is when you link a new habit to an existing one. For example, if you already have the habit of drinking a cup of coffee in the morning, you can stack a new habit, like reviewing 10 new English words, right after drinking your coffee.
Yes, it makes it easier to remember to do your new habit because you're already doing something you're used to. It's like creating a shortcut for your brain.
Next, we have environment design. This is about setting up your environment to make good habits easier and bad habits harder. For example, if you want to eat healthier, keep fruits and vegetables visible in your kitchen and put junk food in a cupboard out of sight.
Exactly. When your environment supports your habits, it's much easier to follow through with them. And this is the power of small changes in your environment that can make a big difference in your behavior.
Wow, that was a lot of powerful information, Claudia. We've learned so much about how small, consistent habits can lead to massive changes in our lives. Whether it's learning English, improving your health, or building new routines, the ideas from Atomic Habits can really help you succeed.
Absolutely. The key takeaway here is that it's not about perfection, it's about progress. Small changes, when done consistently, can have a huge impact over time. So, let's get started today.
And before we finish, we'd love to hear from you. What small habits are you going to start building today? Drop us a comment, share your thoughts, and let us know what habit you're going to focus on first.
Yes, we can't wait to hear from you. Keep learning, keep improving, and remember, small habits lead to big changes. Until next time, take care and keep growing.
See you soon, everyone.